Hi Dragons! What's up? It's Nikita and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I have a very special guest.
Hi,
I
sisters.
brought on a fan.
Right.
This is...
James Charles.
Oh my god, okay, sorry. You know, we just
New
met.
to the scene, new YouTuber, yeah.
Is this your first time on my channel?
Yeah, it is, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, oh my god, okay. It's our first official video on my channel. I have been on her channel a couple times, you know. Actually, no, wait, I'm lying. I think you were in like a vlog or somewhere random. Like you must have been at this point.
Was it the birthday vlog?
Yeah.
Love that. The birthday vlog, having a crazy night.
We can't even speak about that night, honestly.
We can't.
Okay, so pretty much James and I thought it would be really great after, you know, filming a little video, Facetune battle over on his channel. Go watch it right now. I'm gonna put it in the link in the bio. I'm a YouTuber. Hi.
Queen.
Anyway, so pretty much James and I have come to the realization that we are boy crazy.
Oh, yes.
And the things and situations that we tend to get ourselves into are
almost the exact same.
Mirrored.
Yeah. Like Nikita and I were already super close friends for a very long time now, but I feel like over the past like year, 6 months-ish,
all of a sudden we just
gotten
like
so close because we've been through hell and back.
And I also think that our boy situation started around the same time.
Yes.
And that's what I feel like just cemented.
We've had similar situations. We also have very similar
taste.
tasting guys too.
Hot.
Masculine.
Straight. We just want what we can't have.
Yeah,
and
but we get it.
And if they want it.
Oh, they want it.
And we don't want it then.
It's a very complicated cycle, but we figured for today's video it'd be so much fun to just sit down, have a little meal since literally neither one of us have eaten yet today.
Not yet, and we're shaking, and we are going to be talking not only about our own boy issues, but we also asked on Twitter your boy issues, and we're just gonna figure it out, girl. Cheers.
Wow, you went in for a big first bite, man.
Girl, cheers. Oh my god.
That was so good, I'm scared.
I think I need to go change my pants. I literally just got wet.
Wow, I haven't had Chipotle in so long.
The simple things in life. This takes me back to like high school, like a year ago, like Gatorade and Chipotle. Okay, let's just start simply. Like, boys are an interesting species.
The inferior species, that's for sure.
I agree, and I think both James and I having the mindset previously or currently of the male species, we have some insight on what exactly is going on up there.
It's very little, first of all, just to start off.
I feel like a lot of times I personally complicate smaller things.
Oh,
into
100%.
like I
into
just
way bigger than they used
into
to be.
way bigger things, and I'm very the type that like, what is it, like I'm drowning in a glass of water. Like I just like swear all this stuff is happening, and it's such a simple situation.
Yeah, you've had so many FaceTime calls where you've called me like freaking out, and I'm like, okay, let's calm down. And I've done the same to you too. So
yeah,
like, I'm glad that we're there for each other. But like
we literally would call each other. Like there's been like a early morning moment when I just wake up and like James like FaceTiming like, oh my god, this is what just happened, or like a super late night situation.
Literally,
and it's
any minor inconvenience. For me, I think I've come to the terms of why my boy issues are so intense right now in my life. Because of the fact that I am 19 and you're 21, we're both young, right? But being in this industry, you grow up real fast.
Absolutely.
Because you have to be in really situations, in professional meetings with CEOs, adults, you earn
you have
money
to deal
quickly.
with money,
you have
taxes,
to be professional.
There's a lot of people under you.
Yeah, so it's a very like intense workload. So I truly do feel like because of that, I have matured and grown up way faster than anybody else my age. All the other 19-year-olds are like hoeing it around.
And the problem is,
but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine if you're hoeing around. But the problem is,
wish I could relate.
We, like guys our own age, we're like don't have daddy issues.
Yes.
So when we're involved in situations with, you know, someone who's around our similar age, 19, 20, 18.
They don't have that same maturity level.
Girl, they are not there. And that's fine, but then I think especially too when we captivate said individuals and they lead us astray, because I feel like I'm very the type where I know my place at this point after going through a lot of situations of definitely chasing things that were completely unrealistic. But now I feel like I know where my like lines are. Like I'm not gonna go chase after some guy knowingly that he's gonna, you know, F me up. Of course, I still do that, you know, all the time.
At least you know what you're getting into when you start it.
Exactly. You have to know what you're getting into when you're getting into it. And also, I feel like with, again, these young boys, it sounds so gross when we say young boys, but these are boys our own age.
We're young.
They take such a keen interest into girls like us, you know what I mean? Like into girls that have it together, that are just so opposite of them. You know, they might not come from that background of being into anything but just a cisgender woman, naturally born female. And then, you know, it's LA. We come around and you're in a lot of different experiences and also online, and things just happen not only in the DM but in person.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Somebody actually just brought this up to me recently and I was kind of shocked. I don't know about you, but there were 3 total gay people in my high school that were out. It was me and 2 of my best friends. So none of us were hooking up because we all were friends. And I knew that I was gay. I was out in high school. I had 2 girlfriends in middle school. They both broke up with me after 3 days.
Okay.
Not surprising.
Did you send them a palette?
Oh, no. But I probably should. They both FaceTimed me, though, when it came out and, like, congratulated me, which is super, super sweet. I was out, though. I came out in 7th grade. So I was one of 3 gay kids. So I never got to experience dating in high school at all. Whereas most
kids
other kids in high school got the kiss behind the bleachers, got the locker room, homecoming, the full moment. And we never got to experience that.
Never.
So I feel like that's part of the reason why, too, now we're, like, so eager to experiment, to try things out, to get with people, to meet new people, or to get into a relationship, because it's something we've never
experienced. It is hard now, I will say, being in the space that we're in, because it's the added like factor of everything on top of it all. You know, the straight boy, quote unquote, falling in love. And here's the other thing, just for people to be educated, because this is a question that I get asked a lot of times. If a straight guy likes me, that does not mean he is gay.
Okay, I just talked about this too.
Because, you know, I'm a trans woman. I'm a woman at the bottom of the line. And I know a lot of people are going to get confused because now I'm like referring to James as she and all this, you know, it's a lot of throwing labels all around. But for me, it's never a situation where the guy is not straight. You know, he's always straight. He's usually only have ever been with like real cisgender girls. And baby, let me just tell you, I'm all woman, honey. So he is not left wanting anything else. So I think it's really tough because we're not in high school and stuff. We're also not even educated on different things like that in terms of like relationships and heterosexuality and being just fluid in any type of way. Because even to like, in a weird way, like if someone was, if a guy was attracted to you, and most of them literally have only ever been with girls, would you consider him gay?
So I wouldn't either. I was gonna say this
wouldn't
too.
Either.
So I identify as a boy, obviously. I do have male genitalia. I have a dick. And I'm very proud to be a boy. I'm not trans. That's a common question that I get as a boy in makeup all the time. Do I transition? No, I don't. I'm happy being a boy. But I refer to myself as she all the time. And I truly do feel like I embody a lot of things that a woman typically does. And while I do identify as a guy, I don't like, there's no point in like putting a label on anything. And fun fact for you, TMI, like when I do hook up with guys, I usually keep my underwear on. And like I don't let guys go down there on me.
Because also like, a comfortability thing.
Yeah, like are we allowed to be PG on your?
No, bitch. This is PG-13, rated R.
Oh, okay, bitch. I'll suck a dick all day long, and I'm great at it too. Let me just say. But I have only let one guy in my entire life do that to me, and it's one guy that I've hooked up with several times.
You're
my only repeat hookup because I'm comfortable with him. But even so, I still don't really like it, to be honest. So like when I'm with guys, I'm like either in my underwear or like only servicing them, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
no,
like
that makes sense.
I'm playing the role of like a woman.
A woman.
Which sounds very weird, it sounds very backwards, but like it's my personal preference. It's what I like, it's what I'm turned on by. So for me, like I wouldn't really consider them gay if they were sucking my dick or putting it in me, then maybe a little bit of a different story. But that would still be bi.
But I would.
But I don't think there's a point in putting labels on it.
Neither.
Like I really don't think there's that much of a point in it, especially if it's like.
Neither do I.
I just watched this in my video with Jeff. I truly believe that there's the scale. I mean, it's the Kinsey scale. We all know about this, from 0 to 6, your level of straight to perfectly gay. And I really do believe that the amount of people on either end is very small.
It's
very, very small, because most people at some point in their lives, whether it's if in the right circumstances with the right person under the influence of either drugs or alcohol, are going to be willing to experiment and play with themselves and be more comfortable. And that's totally okay. Yes, labels are important because they spread awareness, they help kids feel a part of something bigger, you're able to be educated on it. But at the same time, I don't think there's a point in putting on a label, especially if it's like a one-time thing.
Yeah,
like, absolutely. Like for me or for you, especially too, with these straight guys who've only been with women, like I don't think there's a point in changing the entire person's identity or sexuality as if they find us as a human being
attractive.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes literally obviously we've had our own talks about it, but I just feel like I think people are coming around to the idea for sure. And I also think that like if that like stigma wasn't there, the specific guys that has shown interest in us over the years wouldn't feel so, so okay, here's the side note. So James and I always have kikis and always have like dinners, and when we're calling each other, it's always about usually a situation that happens when, for example, a guy slides into the DM, hot as there's some level of communication. This is a guy then who proceeds to start communicating with us. And again, is not a per se guy who is into anything other than straight, cisgender women, whatever. And then it gets to a point where either they become physical or there's just a relationship in general.
Or a Snapchat.
Things start to develop. So we continue and we are continuing on. And then it comes to a head, and it not always does, but like in this specific instance, and you know what instance I'm talking about? Yeah. When they freak out. They freak the F out. It just turns into this whole debacle. I mean, it ranges from people being like, no, I'm not into that. Oh no, like you thought this was something that it wasn't. Like, oh no, I don't know. Or just like, or them, it's crazy to be kind of led on in a certain type of way by someone who, was like maybe experimenting with whatever. And then all of a sudden, they freak out because, they have to face their own identity. And I feel like we finally, both of us, have like realized that it's like not us.
It's not us.
It's truly them.
I had a situation, and I haven't actually talked about this publicly, so I'm just gonna be like vague on this because I don't obviously want to give away any details. I have talked about the fact that I've had a pretty rough past couple of months. I had a lot of things going on in my personal life, not boy related, but there was a boy going on too that definitely added to the mix. I was traveling and I met a really, really beautiful boy at a restaurant, and we caught each other's eye, and I didn't think anything of it. The wait staff was like harassing him because they saw that I kept looking at him and stuff. And the next day he had DM'd me on Instagram and he was like, oh my God, I noticed you last night. Like I thought you were really beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, can I ask, like, are you straight? And he's like, no, I'm bi.
Okay.
So he right away told me he was bi. He clarified, and I was like, oh my God, great, down, perfect, beautiful, amazing. No,
this never happens, by the way.
No, never.
This is because we're a lot of times, like you said, we're over here like converting sometimes.
Yeah. He told me he was bi, so I was like, cool. Escalated. He was super, super kind. He wanted to hang out before I was leaving the next morning, so I booked another hotel room in my hotel. Because I had Drew with me, so I was not going to do anything with Drew there. Okay, went and bought a full-on suite. So like probably like $1,500, right? For literally one night. Woo! Just to have this boy over, okay? Went up. Now this poor kid is like messaging me. He's like, hey, do you think I could bring a friend up? Like I'm really, really nervous. And I was like, no, this is a little bit weird. I was already nervous too because this was a really, really hot guy that I had met at a restaurant that I saw kind of like laughing at the situation because we were staring at him. And that's like, hey, I'm bi and I'm going to come over. I was like, okay, this is a little bit scary.
Yeah,
especially when you're in social media too, like you never really know, of course, what people's true intentions are. I didn't know if he was actually bi or if he was someone who literally could be homophobic to come and beat me up
or comes up to you, it's like, hey, my sister's a really big fan, can I get a photo?
So just a whole lot. So I was like, no, I'm not really comfortable with that. And I was like, hey, just let you know, like my team is here, my manager is here, my assistant's here, my best friend is here too. Like, don't pull anything.
Yes.
I forgot that I was on the hotel's high priority list.
I wonder why.
So when he got there, they called me like, oh, like, is this person approved to come up? And I was like, yeah, like, oh, we just want to make sure. They bring him up. They brought 4 security guards to bring him up to my hotel room. So I was like, oh my God, so he was totally freaking out, which I totally get. Long story short, we watched a movie together, we cuddled, it was everything. At the end of the movie, he was asking about me and like hooking up with guys and stuff because it was his first time ever doing anything with a guy. He told me he had just recently come out.
Okay.
We made out. Literally one of the most magical hours of my entire life. Like, loved it.
Hour of making out.
He was so kind, so sweet. He kept being like, I'm really nervous. Like, I don't want to do anything further. Fine. Totally good. No worries. We don't have to do anything. He had to go home. It was like 4 a.m. at this point. He left. I had a flight the next morning. For the next literal, like, month, we talked every single day. FaceTiming, texting all day long, flirting back and forth. And he was sending me hot pictures at the gym.
Listen, I didn't see the pictures, but I did see these messages going about. You know when your friend is like on their phone and they're just like, It was one of those moments. I'm like, okay, wow, James is really into this.
Yeah.
And it was a reciprocated thing. Let's just say that, period.
Right. Long story short, because there's a million things that went on in between. When I was in New York before my shoot with Iggy, I had to go to Atlanta and I had a miserable time in New York. A bunch of things went wrong and then my flight got canceled. So I was really, really upset, right?
Yeah.
And I was texting him and he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I wish I was there with you. I just missed you. Like, I was like, wow. Like, I was like, okay, I wish I was there to cuddle with you. Like, I mean, he's like, yeah, I really miss you too. Like, I want to come see you soon. And I was like, okay, like, why don't you come see me as soon as I get back? He's like, oh my God, like, I would love to. And he's like, I can't really afford it right now. And I was like, oh, I got you. I'll pay for the flight. Don't worry, got you. We're good. I got the flight. So I was like, okay, I got the flight. Don't worry. He's like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? And I was like, yes, don't worry. Like, I got you. I really want to see you. Like, it's not that expensive. In and out, whatever. And he was like, oh my God, James, thank you so much. Like, that you have no idea how much that means to me. Like, I cannot wait to just like hug you and like just see you and like be in your arms. Like, I'm so excited. And I was like,
love that.
Oh my God, what is going on? Like, this is literally my dream situation, right? We were celebrating his birthday because his birthday was that weekend. So we were gonna be celebrating a few days after, right? So I was like, I'll take you out to dinner. Like, we could like do fun things together. Like, I'm so excited.
Like creating a whole
birthday
fantasy.
trip.
I get carried away too, and I just like when someone says yes or gives me like, I just like start creating a whole
fantasy.
Because I feel like both of us are very like, we have our own in a sense. Like we want to show up and show out for the people that we appreciate and we love, and whether that's someone in our family or a friend or whatever, but if it's someone that we're genuinely interested in, it's so great. Like, why not treat them out? Like, why not let them have a taste of the fantasy, honey? Full fantasy.
Well, that is like truly the best part about like having money is like being able to like have a good time with your friends and family, like being able to support people around you, and like giving back. Regardless, I get to Atlanta, have an amazing first day with Iggy, was still stressed out about everything, and then I was like, okay, it was midnight on the East Coast. I was like, oh my God, happy birthday! It's your birthday here. Like, I know it's not there yet, like, but I'm falling asleep. Like, I've had such a long day, but like, so excited to see you in a few days. Like, hope you have the best day ever. I'll like FaceTime you in the morning. He's like, oh my God, I'll FaceTime you later. Like, thanks so much. I go to sleep. Next morning, I wake up, roll over to check my phone. So excited about like to talk to him. He had texted me late last night, and he goes, hey, so I just really wanted to tell you because I just was talking to my mom about coming, and I just and listen, he was out, but he wasn't out to his parents yet. So he's literally like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I'm really grateful for everything you helped me with. I actually just came out to my mom last night and told her that I was bi, so thank you so much. And it's like, she was super, super supportive, and I told her that I wanted to come visit you, and I've thought about it a lot, and I talked to her, and I actually think that I'm straight, so I'm not gonna come. I just started like bawling because I was like, oh my God, like a month of my life like now gone. I FaceTimed you that morning. I was like, this, like, what? How? Like, how did this even happen to me? And I wrote back and I was like, listen, like, I get it with all, like, if you're nervous, cool, like, whatever. With all due respect for your own good, I don't think that you're straight. I really don't. Like, you told me you were bi at first. We had an amazing time. You told me you had an amazing time. I know you had an amazing time because we knew what's going on down there. And we've been talking for the last month. You sent me shirtless pictures. You've been flirting with me. So like, if you don't feel the same way that I do right now, you know what? That's okay. Because
I feel like it was invalidating your feelings.
Yes.
It felt like all that was for nothing, and especially for him to do that the day before.
Right. I was like, if you're not interested, that's okay. Don't come back to me with you think you're straight.
Yeah.
Because that's like, hello? Like, what? Just very, very odd.
But it's a whole situation.
That's a long story cut shorter. Still long.
But
that type of thing happens
all the time.
And even after that, he came back a few days later. It was like, I really want a second chance.
They always come back.
And
always come back.
We talked about it. We started talking again. We talked for like 2 more weeks, and he pulled the same thing again. And then a few like weeks later, he literally was like, I just want your forgiveness. Like, please talk to me. And I haven't blocked him. And it sucks because like I really, truly felt a connection with him.
Yeah, you guys really had a connection.
He is insanely good looking and really, really kind. I will still say
and that. Also the whole story of how it kind of went down, it really like makes you really invested.
It's over and it's done, and it made me learn a lot of lessons about both dating and myself too.
Yeah, when we go through situations like this, it's like so hard to kind of not be hopeful for the next time, but
it is.
You become so guarded in a certain way by being effed over and by learning from your mistakes, which is definitely what you should do. But like for us, I feel like especially we have a really hard time like opening up and allowing someone to come in, because James and I, and I'll admit this for both of us, we have looked stupid at times over boys. Like, fully
absolutely ridiculous.
Fully dumb. Like our friends around us, like they always gag when we talk because we literally speak the same boy language. Like when we're talking, it's literally as if I'm talking to myself.
Right.
We sound crazy. We sound fully crazy.
Fully psychotic.
So, like institutional.
Yeah.
Of boys. Crazy. It just sucks because it's like, I really do believe, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but like I try to make every step possible to not get myself into the same situation.
Yes. And it still happens every single time. And I think like that's part of the reason why it did really hit me hard this time as well, just because like after so many failed attempts and so many things going wrong, I truly thought like, okay, he messaged me first. He told me that he was bi. We already hooked up. We've been talking for a month straight. Super kind.
Yeah.
A lot of things in common. Super supportive.
Perfect.
Understands me. Hasn't told anybody that we're dating together. Like every single box
of like
down the list of like, the things that are normal red flags.
Yep.
The things that have gone wrong in the past. So then I'm like, oh my God, it still somehow managed to
mess up.
Go wrong. So when I got upset over this, it was, I mean, of course I was so upset over the relationship because I did really like him. The sadness and the anger was maximized and multiplied by 1,000,000 because at this point I'm like, oh, like what is, I'm like, is it me?
Yeah.
Is it me? What am I doing wrong? And literally like I'm going to die alone. And it sounds so dramatic to say that and like,
no, but you can't help but to feel that
way.
way.
But you can't help but feel that way, especially after so many, it's gone wrong so many times. You're like, what the can I do now?
Yeah.
It's like you're literally like out of option. I'm good now.
It took some time.
Few weeks of like really getting it together. I re-downloaded Tinder, started talking to a few new guys.
Nothing helps you get over like getting under. Let me just say that. The last kind of relationship situation that you witnessed was something along the lines of similar situation in a sense. We met through like, I guess like almost like a work friend, if you will. So it started off not in a sense a relationship in any way. And it definitely developed naturally. It definitely came out of nowhere. My situation was really effed because he was giving me all the signs that he was into it. And at the time, I had really never experienced any kind of relationship type feel or feeling. And so to have this guy who I just felt like I kept giving and I kept giving and I kept giving. And not only was it, you know, social media wise, but it also was just in person in general too. Cause like I felt like he made me feel insecure in the way of like, oh, you're trans. So by you being trans, like you have to prove to me why I should like you.
Ew.
I know. At first I thought it was like definitely on me. I thought it was all in my head because I was like, oh my God, you know, I'm trans. Like he's never been with a trans girl before. And like, not that it's different, but it's just like, you know, the added label of it. And he was seemingly okay with being public with me in certain situations of like me basically essentially posting him and stuff.
Right.
But it wasn't the same in return, if you will. And I don't know, I guess I just like, it really with me mentally because behind the scenes, I was hearing so many different things. And then just like publicly or like with other friends and stuff, it was really meant to be like, I was the crazy one, that I was just so into it and whatever. And then what really messed it up is when obviously eventually down the line, like we did get physical. That really F's me up because
it's misleading.
It's misleading because to me, I'm like, okay, cool. Like we're in a good, comfortable space because if we're gonna hook up or we're gonna do whatever, like we have to be in some way on the same page and like comfortable with each other.
Yep.
And to get I got the ghost. Like I got the after the hookup.
That's the worst. That happens
ghosted
all the time.
Like full on, like he ran for the hills, like so scared, but only after. Like it wasn't like during or anything, but like girl after, like you know, spend the night, the whole situation, and it was just like so frustrating to me because I was like, wow, like all this time I was spending on you, all these things that I was reading into, it was like almost for nothing. And I really felt like I opened myself up, which is like definitely really difficult to do with anyone. Also, I think just like in my trans journey, for a while I was looking for validation through men, and I'll be like completely honest with that, like, and I think that's so disgusting to say, but like for a really long time, like I felt my most cunty, my most unclockable, like I felt the most amazing when I would get with the straight guy, and maybe sometimes he wouldn't even know that I was trans. And
well, Nikita, I don't think that's a disgusting thought. I think that's a very common thought for a lot of trans girls. Right? It's like you obviously are born in the wrong body and you want to fix it and you want to live your true self and be who you want to be. So I think that like regardless of whatever stereotypes do exist, and like no matter how much you truly do love yourself and are comfortable with yourself, there's always gonna be that underlying feeling of like, okay, like what does it feel like to be a true woman?
Yeah.
And like hooking up with a cisgender male that is only with women is that's like the like ultimate last step.
That like feeling.
It's like the final boss.
Yeah, it literally is the final boss. In just a lot of the situations, I was okay being the other woman in a sense. Like I was okay being the secret. I was okay being that like one-off little situation because to me, I still felt that validation and I was constantly chasing it, and it was just really like not cute for a really long time. And I think it's just like
you're finally over it.
Yeah, I'm finally over it, thank God. And I'm like, I think I have like a better understanding. And I think to me, it's not like, oh, I'm trans, like, oh, what are you gonna say? You know, like it's more of like, okay, I'm trans, like, and like I'm like, okay.
Right.
Not that it's to be expected, but it's just like, you know, okay, cool, this is a part about me. Everyone has a past, but what bitch does not have a past? You have a past. You have things that I don't even know about you.
Right.
So if you're gonna try to tell me that the craziest thing that I could approach you with is that, okay, I used to be one type of way, but now I look bomb as
Right.
no, I'm over it. And so I think by like going into it with that mentality of like being secure in who we are, and I think we both somehow in the past year have gotten it together. And I think that both of us are in a better place in our relationships or whatever that we kind of have, or like things that we're entertaining right now.
Right. Same. I think we both like deserved it too. I think after making so many mistakes that we can both admit, but also learn from, it's like there's only so many times you can get over. And of course, we're still unfortunately probably gonna get over.
It would suck. I'm like, gonna be over? Like, I hate that feeling. There's nowhere, girl. I could go through 20 surgeries and heal like that, girl. But
a boy will for weeks.
It's just like it's this feeling like inside, like oh my god.
You know what's so frustrating? It feels so stupid to say that and to admit that. It's like
because you know it.
Because you know it.
While you're in it.
Something is you know because there's always red flags, and something is stupid as a boy. A boy. Someone else is like getting you that irritated and mad and sad. It's like
all you can focus on. So I asked you guys on Twitter to ask James and I questions on boys, since definitely we have some experience to say the least. So someone says, okay, how do we flirt?
Very direct.
Very forward. Both of us are very forward.
Which I really do feel like is a major turnoff for some guys.
Yeah.
Like some people, they either live for it and they're like, oh.
I say I'm forward. James is like the times 20 of me, like to the next level.
Yeah.
James will go up to a guy and be like, can I suck your dick?
Okay, no, not that dramatic. Absolutely not.
I have experienced transphobia as a transgender woman, oftentimes in relations to men fearing others, conceptualizing them as gay.
Oh my god, literally what we just talked about.
I also have a major fear of becoming a victim of violence for the same reason. Do you have any tips on how to stay safe while dating? For me, I really went through this phase and it was so dark, and I talked about this on my channel before, of wanting to trick guys.
Yeah.
I was in this crazy mentality where I'm like, F that, I don't need to tell anybody. And so I would go home with guys and I wouldn't tell them. And there were so many instances where I definitely got out of a lot, but there was only one time when I came close to being like a little bit more, like the guy was really, really upset. So it's just more one of those things where I think you do have to be kind of upfront. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, scream Hail Mary, like wave the flag, but at the same time, like you have to just put it out, like even as simple as something as like a Tinder or Bumble. Like I really believe that just to save yourself the heartache, like you should kind of have a little something, or, you know, link to your profile or some, you know, have some way, not necessarily to like flaunt it in a crazy type of way. You can definitely tell them, but like, especially on online dating, like I remember so many times when I would have to go back and forth with them, and then eventually I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna tell them later. 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 It's like a ripping the Band-Aid off, but it gets like bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes a bigger problem. And then once you do it, it's like a whole different situation. So it's really hard.
Well, I think it's important too, because like obviously I'm not trans, but like for T-girls or for anybody, like your parts do not define who you are.
No.
And like your sexuality does not define who you are as a human being at all. Like people have so many amazing qualities regardless. But whether or not you want to admit it or not, sex is a part of a relationship.
And people do have their preference. And you have to, like, you're not gonna just willingly go out there and be like, oh, this guy won't hook up with me, so he's transphobic. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's not the case. People really do have their preference, and I hate, this is a touchy subject for especially the LGBT community, but people do have their preference, and whether it be people who are tall, short, bigger, muscular, people truly do have their preference, and it's certain things that either turn you on or don't, and you can't change those preferences. It's literally how your body works. And of course, people do grow and change over time, and they evolve with new experiences and new people that they're seeing or new relationships. Like, I'm not saying that, but for most people, they have a preference and
to certain things.
You
know, and I will say this, like, people are smart. You know when you can go in and when you can't. I always have known, and even like in a red flag situation, like I know what the tea is, girl.
Especially for like gay guys too, I feel like especially like you will definitely catch a vibe when a guy is, if I'm putting out flirtatious energy and they're absolutely not giving it back, I'm like, okay, over with, sorry. Like, not gonna try it again because it's clearly like they're not interested, and it might even make them uncomfortable, and that's never the goal.
It's always annoying when they show interest a little bit or like reciprocate or something, and then you like kind of like go in a little bit and they're like, whoa, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Once again, it's a learning situation. It really happens with experience and stuff, and you truly do get a vibe for who's down, who's not, or even if who's going to make the jokes back and forth with you or flirt back and forth, even if they're not actually down, or you find out somebody who might not be comfortable at all.
Exactly.
It's really just figuring out the vibe.
You know the vibe.
Being open and honest and
safe
and loving yourself.
I love a good love talk between James and Nikita. James and Dragun. Why is it that the boys are always the best ones?
Because, I mean, if they're getting around, they know what they're doing.
That, and also I feel like it's the level of like confidence. It's like the approach. It's like the boys are always because they tend to be very attractive. Yeah. If not, their personality is very attractive.
Yeah. I tweeted this earlier today. Pretty boys always have the ugliest personalities.
Always.
And it's always true. Except for me.
I will say ugliest or like boring. I mean, obviously there's anomalies to every single situation.
Right.
Duh, of course there's gonna be that one person that's different. But I will say, like in LA,
9 out of 10 times.
9 out of 10.
Pretty boys are the absolute worst people on the planet.
I know. How can I talk to a boy when I'm painfully shy and a complete wallflower of a human being?
Okay.
Ooh, this is a different approach.
Well, I feel like if you're shy, you're either going to want to be with somebody who's also shy and is a little bit more quiet, or the complete opposite, where someone who's super, super outgoing and can balance out the relationship.
And you need to know in your mind that it's not over for you if the person is very extroverted. They're going to be similarly attracted to their opposite of wanting a shyer person. So even them approaching you, like, don't automatically weigh it out as, oh no, they're way too outgoing and I'm really shy. Like, I feel like shy girls or people in general can, like, they get it. They get it. And not, like, sometimes even more than, like, kind of girls like us about with our crazy approach. I feel like sometimes I see a shy girl, I'm like, she's got moves. Like, she's got plays.
How do you tell someone likes you or not?
How do you tell someone likes you or not? This is an answer that I don't even know if we have the answer to.
I don't think we know.
Like,
clearly, I do not know.
Yeah, clearly, girl, even I have the trouble with this. Like, again, speaking on terms of recent situations.
Oh, I know my answer to this.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, so it's definitely a feeling. You know when you know. You have to allow the steps. Like, it's not just gonna happen like this. Like, yes, you can have.
We both are very impatient. We want
I am
instantly.
so impatient.
Same.
I'm like, I like you, you like me, but
let's just get together.
Let's just get together. But we don't. 100%. I had to finally realize that not everyone has that mentality.
No.
Some people are like, yeah, I do like you, but I want to see if I continue to like you over this like
over
process.
the next 6 months.
6 months of games and like all sorts of like less on red, like respond 10 minutes later, like this, that, 100%. I like this. You know, just people are different, but at the end of the day, I think that if you're smart enough and again, you lead with your heart and your head a little bit, you know what to do.
Do you want to know my answer to this? And this is something that I have learned, especially with this past boy.
Okay.
If somebody likes you, like, you will truly know. If they're living far away, if they're living long distance, if they make an effort to come to see you.
Effort is the big thing.
If somebody's leaving you on red all day long, they're not texting you back, if somebody doesn't want to hang out with you, if somebody lives long distance and they don't want to come visit you, they don't like you. I'm so sorry to tell you, take it from me as someone who literally has tried to see the good in every situation and has tried to be like, oh, maybe they're busy, maybe they're doing this, maybe they're doing that. Busy? Oh, you want to talk about busy?
Girl.
I know busy.
Stop making excuses for boys.
Yeah. Alejandro says, I have a friends with benefits relationship with my crush, which is great, but I don't know if he feels the same way. He often sends me mixed signals, but honestly, who knows at this point? I just enjoy the sex and keep going with my day.
Oh! It sounds like he's more into it than she is.
Because I am Colombian and bisexual, I used to get a lot of guys seeing me as some sort of fetish or like exotic thing on their bucket list. Okay.
So fetish size.
Yeah. So this goes back especially to what we were talking about earlier with being trans too. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of guys that do have a fantasy for trans girls or for
like
boys
a boy makeup.
Yeah. You the person being fetishized have to sit back and ask yourself, is this something I'm okay with? For me, yes.
I say yes. When I first started, I was like, no, I'm never gonna be with a guy who's only into trans girls or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
I thought so too at first, but that's literally what I'm into.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you're, like kind of how we were saying earlier, if someone's into per se a specific thing and like, why not just make it easier for like our life's sakes and just like, you know, I take every situation, you know, seriously and you just never know what's gonna happen and approach you. But I definitely will say if the person's fetishizing you, not in a really really gross, nasty way.
Not like, it can't be in a demeaning way, because
Yeah.
if it's demeaning, then you should get out regardless.
If you feel like gross afterwards, then like, or like during, or like any part, like no. But if it's something that you know they have like a history of a pattern of liking.
Yeah, and if you're personally into that, then go for it. I mean, that's a very, very personal decision. Obviously, you have to be okay with that. For us, it may be, but for other people, it may not be. If that's not the case and you don't want to be fetishized, don't get with those guys.
Yeah, with those guys. Just continue to stick with the straight boys who want to lead you on for like 6 months. How do you enjoy life being single?
Well, I feel like when you're single, you can hook up with multiple people and not feel bad about it, which is like
you're not tied down to anyone per se. You don't have any like leading on type feelings, and I feel like
you can flirt too, which is fun.
Oh, it's the funnest when you're the single one. And I mean, both of us technically have been single.
Yeah. For the majority of our lives.
Yes, for the majority of our lives. But I will say one thing that I ran into recently, and just kind of like having respect and stuff. I definitely think we are flirts. We are promiscuous. We have fun when we're single. If I'm talking to somebody and it's like to a certain point, this person, you can't be talking to nobody else, and I'm not going to be talking to
and I'm not talking to anybody else either. Yep.
And that's just that. And I do think it's like an old-fashioned thing.
It's just courtesy.
Yeah, but I feel like it is hard, especially in our age range.
And in LA.
And in LA, like there is a hot person the next corner you turn. There is a quick swipe. There is a quick
one
DM.
Swipe down on the Explore page.
There's one swipe on the Explore page. There's hosts. There's, everywhere.
The new top request section.
Top request section. There's a lot of things going on. So for me, one thing I do not ever compromise on is monogamy. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I'm serious and I'm investing myself in time into someone, I think that I should know that you're serious.
Doing the same thing too.
And that you're doing the same thing. All right, everyone. We are officially over our boy problems. If you can't get a boy or dick in your life, honey, let me just say, food is always mother effing there for
as
you.
your best friend, please sponsor us.
And also best friends are there for you too. We have experienced a lot together, and I'm so glad we have. And I really hope that everyone like watching this has someone in their life. And I think that's the other thing.
Honestly, yeah.
Don't get so involved and invested into another person. It really is at the end of the day about you yourself and how you feel. And really, no one can make you feel any other type of way than how you.
Bros over hoes. And sisters over misters, always.
Yes.
Always.
Fries before guys.
True.
Chicks before dicks.
That's true!
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe down below, like this video, and also comment if you have any more boy-related questions, or if you think that James and I should start
a boy series.
We have a lot of boy problems. Also, don't forget to go check out the video we filmed on James's channel, having the best Facetune battle to see who the real
of all time,
who the real Facetune queen is. You guys already know who it be though, but
yeah,
me. Definitely.
Right. Well, you guys are gonna have to go watch the video and let us know.
Go watch. And also don't forget to subscribe to James. Thank you so much for having me not only in your studio, in your home, and
in my life.
In your life.
I love you.
Okay.
Thank you guys for watching.
Oh, not taking over.
I thought you were done.
I know. And don't forget, breathe fire, my dragons.